Going live. And we're live. Okay. So I'm just going to be working in the shop for a little bit today. I'm going to be making strops because I have a bunch of orders that came in and I've got to make some more. So I figured it'd be a good time to turn on the camera and let people come in live, ask some questions, see what's going on. So if you've got something you want to work in your shop and just work alongside, let me know. Or just come on in, hang out. Let's see, what else do I need here? I got the straight edge, I've got this leather, I've got the piece on there. Hey James, how's it going? Oh, I gotta set that up, that's right. It's always something when I'm doing it by myself. Let's do you up, down, click, bring over, you pop out chat. There we go, now we can see things. Hey! Looks like there's a few people in here. Good to see yous all. And let's put that back there. There we go. Cool. So let's make some stropses. I'm waiting for epoxy to cure on the desktops, and we'll be working on those a bit for later. Just hanging out today. Cool. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying, wow, I got all this extra free time. And my wife and I are like, we're crazy busy. Because with the kids home, I have to do all my normal work plus homeschooling. And Sarah is pulling crazy amounts of hours right now. And yeah, she's having fun. So I need to trim you. Need to stamp you. You're still going to be in the trimming process. And I'll set you two in there. Yeah, we're doing pretty well. Just busy. Very busy. You need more stickers on the wall. Yeah, I do need more stickers on the wall. So let's see. I need to put a mark here. And then a mark here. Let's see if I can make this one work. So if that's there, and this one goes here. Here. And then that runs you off of there. So I have to turn these actually a good bit farther in order to get them all in. Or I could do them this way. Get 1, 2, and then 3. Trying to figure out how to get the most out of all of these scraps is a lot more difficult than I thought. If you could describe a correctly fitted drawer type with grooves riding on runners, how to size it? It depends. If it's going to be something that is going to be outside of air conditioning, it has got to be a bit flexible for expansion and contraction. So usually I like to leave somewhere between an 1/8 and a 1/16 on the top of the drawer, so it's sitting flat on the bottom. And then I like to have usually like 3 or 4 playing cards. Sometimes as little as 2 playing cards on the sides. That allows it, because the drawer is going to want to expand and contract up and down. So if I'm making it in the winter at the driest point of the year, I'm going to want to leave a little bit bigger gap at the top. If I'm making it late summer when it's really humid and hot, then I might want to keep it pretty tight at the top. But that depends on where you're at. The more humid it is, the more the wood's going to shrink when it gets drier. Taking a coffee break, woohoo! Okay, I'm going to do it this way. So we're going to go from this point. And then I'm going to go this way and this way. Except for that's not going to help me that way. Shoot. Okay, let's just draw that line then. Organic shapes always make this an absolute pain. So let's do that. So, oh here, let me turn on this camera so you guys can actually see what I'm working on. So I believe this one's still piped in. 2. Question: have you ever considered buying a rule die to cut out the strops? Yes, I have looked at that. The problem is you have to cut, remake the die. You have to have a press to do it, and the amount of money that goes into that would it would cost me more money to do that than it would to make like 6 runs of strops. So I probably wouldn't make any money on strops for a couple of years. So it's just not it's not worth it. I mean, I usually make I'm making a few bucks per strop. It's not a huge amount. My seconds and thirds, I really don't make much on them. I'm just getting rid of excess leather and helping people out. So it's not something I can dump a bunch of money into, unfortunately. So let's go from there to there. And then I need to square this out. Oh shoot, I wish I had that square. I have a framing square that has disappeared on me, and I had it cut, shaped smaller so that it would help me out. But unfortunately it's not. So let's just do it this way then. So 1, mark this all the way along, and then we're going to go mark, and then mark. Yeah, there are a lot of ways that I could make these easier with a laser cutter or something of that nature, but just have never wanted to get into that. I actually rather enjoy this. This is a good way to kind of relax, do something a little bit different. So 1 mark there. Let's bring this one up here, down to there, corner mark, corner mark, corner mark. Okay, so now I can mark out all these. Oh, here, let me switch it back to 2, sorry. You might hear a lot of noises coming from upstairs. Kids are all working on their homeschooling. Now let's do this one next. So you in there. And I use this aluminum angle because I don't want to be messing up my nice carving knife. And it works really well. Look and see if there's any questions. Xbox, woohoo, have fun, man. Greetings from Israel. Hey, how's it going? Hope you're all well. Yeah, no, we're having a pretty good time. Well, a pretty good time, yes. Sarah is pulling some crazy long hours right now nursing. And I'm having fun with the kids. But our life has not been this busy in a long, long time. A lot of people are saying they've got lots of extra free time. I'm like, no, I don't have no free time left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out all of these, and I'm going to lay them all out. Let's see, do I want to do it that way? I want to do it this way. Let's do it this way. So let's start down here. 1, 2, and I won't be able to get a third there. Stink. Nope, we got to do it this way. So how far can I go that way? So if I go this way, I can go 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. I can do that. So let's create a bottom edge here where all of these can go off. That will allow me to base all of these off of that line. So then I can go there, tick mark, tick mark. Be careful when cutting along the side of the wood. They don't slice the wood off and make all future strops smaller. There. There. Can I get one more in? Yes, I can. So I just lay them all out and mark them out on this, and then I will take them over later and cut them out that way. So I can get one more over here, and there's no way to get, so I can get 1/3 there, or I can get a full and possibly a third. So let's do one this way. And I have thought about making an aluminum template. One of these days I might. Be fairly quick and easy to make. Ah, hey, thanks, One Blue Lagoon. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see, did I miss any questions in here? Question. I placed an order for card scraper strop compound. Will you be sending things out as normal? Yes, yeah, no, I sent out a batch this morning, and I have a couple more orders that came in, so I have to make up some more so I can get those out. So I'm actually going to spend a good chunk of today just making a bunch more strops, since I have some more leather. But yes, I am sending them out because I can do that all from my house. So I print all my labels here, I stick them in the mailbox, and they all go out. Able to find some horseback. Cool, nice work. Perhaps greeting. Yep, no, I was able to get some of the items out this morning. Hello from Italy. Hey, I don't have COVID, but also like to have a strop. I also don't have a shop. May as well get the virus. Right. Yeah, no, it's yeah. Now some of the stories I'm hearing from my wife as a nurse and others around, it is not a pleasing thing. So, yeah. Okay, come on, give it to me. There we are. So now I got to come back through and mark the tops on all of these. And this way, I can trim them out a little later. That one and that one. Okay, so there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I got 3 others. Let's see, can I get a third out of that? What is that noise? Huh. I always have to think about what the noises are in case the kids are doing something. Yes, I can get a third out of that. So, anytime where I've got something like this, oop, not there. I try and get one more piece out. Let's actually do it right there. And I make these thirds. I really don't make any money on them, but it helps people out as they can buy it rather cheaply. And that makes me happy. Oop. Still a functional piece of leather, but it'll do. So set that aside and start making the next one. Roll out the leather side. There we go. Got a whole nother one here. Thumbs up. Thanks, man. Hello from Philadelphia. Question. Do you know where I can source buckskin or synthetic buckskin for piano work? I don't. My first place to look would be Tandy Leather. My second place would probably be, oh, come on. Z something. It's the same place where I got this set of horsehide. Oh, I can't remember it right now. But no, I'd have to look for it. Sorry. I haven't used buckskin in a long time. The times I have used it, it's been from a friend of mine who got a buck and we tanned her own leather. Cool. You could possibly ask a cobbler. Yeah. Zach White. There we are. Zach White Leather Company. They're the ones that had the horse butt. And I've had them a couple times like, hey, we just got in some more horse butt. You need some? I'm like, yes, I need more horse butt. Yes, I need more horse butt. Okay, so let's start these ones out. So there's one side and another angle here. Then let's trim this up. Oh, I should have done that. Oh well. Let's do that in the next set then. Then let's do it this way so I don't confuse myself. There and there. There. Oh, I did it backwards again. Oh well. Yeah, it'll cost me a little bit, but oh well. Such is life. Such is life. Mistakes happen. It's not about the mistakes. It's about how we respond to the mistakes. You respond well to the mistakes, and you are a better person than I am. I don't normally respond well to mistakes. And you and you. And I'm also very interested when I sell with the logo in the top center and the logo in the corner. And sometimes I sell a lot with the logo in the top center because it looks cool. And sometimes I sell a lot with the logo in the corner. So I'm always interested to see which one is actually selling this time. That. And then I need this one. Let's see, can I get a third over here? Yes, I can get a propane bottle. I caught it. That's what I need bursting open my shop today. Oh, nice. I can get a third over here. Cool. That's what I want. What I really, really want. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw them in there, and I will get to them as I get to them. I do a little bit of work, and then I'll look up and see what questions have been asked. I'm going to do a little bit of work and see what questions have been asked. Can you get it that way? No. So then let's do it this way. Top side. Top side. And then this one. Okay. Let's draw out these tops. Let's see what other questions we have. Time to get back to work. Yep. There's always something good to procrastinate about. My wife and I are exact opposites in that. I very, very rarely procrastinate. I'm always the guy working way, way, way ahead when at all possible. And she, we were in college. We had a couple classes we did together, and there was a class where I actually went to, at the end of the previous semester, went to the teachers and said, hey, can I work ahead? And the teachers all said, yes, here are the projects you're going to be doing next semester. And I'm like, yes, and I start working on the projects, and I'll be working on them for months and months and months and months ahead of time. And then my wife arrives at school for the semester, and she gets her syllabus and starts organizing things and then forgets about it. It's 11 p.m. the night before the big paper is due. She starts writing her paper. And I've been working on my paper for 6-7 months. And of course she gets the A, and I get a B+. I'm not bitter. I am not bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm really not bitter. Now, she's always been the better book learner. She is incredibly, incredibly smart and puts me to shame every time. She also puts up with me, which is a pretty significant feat. Oh, that moved. See how many we can get in here. Get one more? Yeah, you can get one more. Now, let's see, can I get a regular corner? Oh, hot dog, I can get a regular one. Okay, now all these top straight edges. There's that one. Let's draw some lines on here. Let's see. Always seem to be. Well, we just started not too long ago. You're not late to the party at all. We just got up and going a little bit ago. Not late at all. Just drawing out. Oh, here, let me switch over to the other camera so you can see what I'm doing. I'm drawing out all of the arches that will need to be cut. Yeah, this template is actually 100-year-old white oak that I pulled out of a dresser I salvaged. And the drawer bottoms were solid 1/4-inch white oak. Now it serves its life as a scrap template making strops. Nope, that's too small. Okay, let's come on over here and see if we can get a couple more out. So if you guys have any questions or anything you want to see, throw them in there. I would love to answer things. It is always boring to just be in here by myself. So I like it when other people's is in here. Then I can talk to someone else, not just myself. Of course, then in a little bit we'll probably have the kids running down here. I'm done with my work. I'm done with my work. And I'm like, no, you're not. You only finished this part. Go do more. Cut up an old pair of boots. Yeah, that'd be a good one for it. Where is a good place to buy leather like this? Yeah. Well, we were talking about this actually a little bit earlier. I got this stuff from the Zach White Leather Company, and they have it more than other people with the horse hide, but don't always have it. And so it's one of these things that sometimes you can get and sometimes you just can't. You go in that way? No. I'm always happy when they actually have some in stock. And they usually do, but not always. Horse butt is more difficult to come by than other places. Tandy Leather doesn't even try to stock it. Can I get a third? No, that's going to be too small for even a third. So there, that'll probably be a second. Okay, there's that one. I got two more to mark out. Oh, this one I should be able to get a few good ones out. This is a nice big piece. Yeah, with horse butt, horse butt is very common for sheaths, and so you'll often get it in thin strips, but they're too thin for the strop size I want to make, and so it's hard to find uncut, one cheek. But yeah, it's also tools for working wood. Their strops are horse butt as well. See if I come over this way, can I get three? 1, 2, 3. Yes, I can get 3 that way. So let's do that. And then I can get at least a second over here, if not a third. So there's the bottom. And so right now I am low on these ones that have the logo in the top center. So most of them that I'm making today are this style with the logo in the top center. Lining things up perfect like. I want my strops to look good. Or at least as good as they can with my workmanship, which is not that good. Okay. And yes, I can get that out of there. There's another third. Play connected the dots. And yes, this is usually what my shop life is like. Just mumbling to myself, working on things. I'll look to see if there's any questions here in a moment, as soon as I get these marked. Yeah, it's fun. I much prefer it when I do it with the patrons because it's small enough I can do a group hangout and can actually talk to each other and see what each other's working on. I like seeing what's in people's shops. Hey, Tommy, how's it going? Tommy Hovington there. It's good hanging out on your live the other day. Hello from the Netherlands. Why horse leather? Why not cow leather? A horse butt leather is much, much harder than any cow leather. And it won't deform the tip when you push it down in. And so it's a great balance between really hard surface, but still porous enough that it will hold on to the buffing compound nicely. Also, the smooth side of the leather is an incredible polisher. And so you can really get a mirror finish off of the smooth side of the leather alone. And it is much more efficient than cow leather. Not that there's a problem with cow leather. Cow leather works great, but horse butt is a step better. No, I don't put my leather attached to, it's like my strops are just like this. I put them on the bench and I'll just, well, like when I need to work on my knife, I'm going to slide it over here and just put it right flat on the bench top. And that's how I do my stropping. The one on my sharpening station is attached to wood, but that's because it's all part of the sharpening station. Okay. Let's see, so if I turn you that way, or if I go this way, let's turn it and do 1, maybe 2 that way. All very good questions. Questions that I actually get quite a bit. Talked about a few of them on the live on Wednesday, because that one is a little bit more of a how-to going into the strop making itself. This one's more or less just to hang out, having a little bit of fun. And I need to get some work done, so I figured I'd let you guys in the shop. Okay, now let's change directions and go this way. We're making horse butt strops. So these are the strops that I sell on my website. Yeah. When laminating a bench top, instead of using 2x4s, can you use something larger such as a 4x12? Sure. The bigger the better. The best way to do it is to have one slab that's 4 inches by 20 inches. That would be my ideal of a good bench top. Something that's really nice and dry with good grain direction pulled out of a crazy massive tree. But those are almost impossible to come by. So the next best thing is to make it out of 2 big slabs you can put together. So yeah, if yours are 4-inch thick by 12-inch, grab 2 of those, glue them together, and you got yourself a bench top. That make a really nice bench. So yes, like this bench, all these boards are made 1 inch wide by 4 inches, and I just laminate a whole bunch of them together, and that's not as nice. It's just bigger pieces are much harder to come by. Much harder to come by. Yeah, let's do it that way. Okay, so that one along there, that one along there. End point, end point. Then mark this side. Here, I'll switch back over so you can see what I'm working on here. 2. Right now I'm just coming through and I'm laying them all out, marking them out on leather. And then I'll go through and cut them all out. And then we'll go through and brand them all. This one. I don't think I'm going to be getting as many thirds out of these as I normally do. Those tend to sell out pretty quickly. There we go. Cool. So, now, can I get some more out of this section here? I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. So, yeah, let's do one right there. I love the smell of leather. Brings back so many good memories. Just out of college, I actually had a bit of a business making leather armor. So I used to make historical armor, and that was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I don't have any of my old armor with me. I lost it in one of our moves. Oh well. Okay. Ooh, I can get one more. Nice, 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 nice. Mark out the top arches on these. Oop. This leather squeaking drives my kids crazy. So I make sure to do it as much as I can around them. I think a bit of crazy is healthy in a child. Unfortunately, I think my kids inherited a bit more than just a bit. Okay, now on to these. No, that's not gonna work. Do that one. Let's see, what do we got here? I drive a truck. One day I was delivering a load of goat's hides. Asked for one, could make a strop out of a goat. Yeah, you can make a strop out of any leather you want. I mean, you could make a strop out of paper, MDF, pine. Different strops have different characteristics, and different people like different types. Any experience with Matchcraft clamps? No, I do not have any experience with them. So I would not be the best person to ask that. Sorry. So let's do that. Okay. That by that top mark there. Let's come out this way then. One. Here comes the banshees. Let's just do that. You're all done? Okay, put your book here, and then you can go play. Up on the chair, yep.
Am I the second one?
Yes, you are the second one. Did you get any red flags? They're so excited when they're done, not realizing that there's more to do later. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that one then too. We were planning on starting homeschooling next year because we want to do more traveling. It's actually one of the goals on the channel is we want to do almost like documentaries of traditional woodworking in different locations. But we'll see how that goes. Because currently traveling is not possible. Go figure, huh? Yeah, you're a second, so we'll put that on there. Yeah, perfect timing. I actually got their passports in the mail yesterday. It's like, well, those aren't very useful right now, are they? Oops. Let's do it right there. That'll give us another third. Okay, is that the last? No, I got one more hide to do. So those have all been marked up. And I got one more hide to mark up. There's the words. Ta-da. Let's see what questions we have. How do you keep in shape for your next ultra race at the moment? Yeah, I run around the yard. If you follow me on Facebook, I posted my route that I do around the yard, and I basically run a loop in the backyard, then go out the gate and do a loop in the front yard, and then come back in the gate. And if I really want to do it, I'll go out the back gate into the easeway, and I'll do a loop, the little loop back in there. And so it gives me about 0.15 miles per total. So I can do, what is it, like 6.5 loops per mile. So just running in circles in the yard. I have a friend who just did a marathon on a helipad. And yeah, that was crazy. Let's see, can I get 3 that way? It was, what, about 15 feet square, and he ran the marathon on that. Nope, I can't do it that way. So we're going to do it this way then. So actually, this thing is pretty straight. Let's see if I can do a whole bottom line on this. Let's do a couple bottom lines then. So let's go from you to you. Let's see how many I can get along that. And I want to make straight ones this time, so we can just do this and this. Ah, it slid. Well, that one just became a second. Anytime that there's a little extra knife cut or something of that nature, it's a second. Someone out there gets a deal. And need this top mark, and you can draw that line. Here, switch back over to that. Good morning! Hey Mom, how's it going? We are stropping today. My mother raised stropping young boys. I crack myself up. Yes, I do. Hey, trash is here. I hear the trash truck outside picking up all the garbage. He's actually picking up a large bucket of wood shavings right now. Yes, I throw away my wood shavings. Such disastrous things. I know. Let's see, can I get 3 in? 1, 2, 3. Not quite. One more, and then we'll do 3. There's that one. So let's cut this off. Yeah, hopefully you liked the asparagus, Mom. It looked good, so I thought you might like it when I picked it up. And cilantro was on sale, so it's like 99 cents for the bundle. Figured, why not? Oh, diddle-lally. Not enough for a third. Well, yeah, we'll get one. Well, wood shavings are only cool to those who are new to them. To everyone else, they're sawdust. Give me a third, or that would give me that. Let's do it this way. So they are, yeah. They're trash, so why not just throw them out? Yeah, I used to use them as mulch, but it's actually a really poor mulch because it dissolves so quickly and just turns black and rotten quickly. And there's just no other way to use hundreds of gallons worth of wood shavings other than burning them, and I don't have a real way to burn them. You know, you can use a few crafts every now and then, but most crafts you're only going to use a few of them, so there's no real reason to. Next, we're going to be getting up to my favorite part, which is slicing these all apart. So we've marked them all out, and then I'm going to actually come back and cut them all without slicing up my finger. And that'll make a nice third. Okay, mark that to mark that. There. So there are all the strops marked out. Now we can go through actually cutting them out, which is the most dangerous part because I'm going to be putting the blade upright and using it kind of like a circular saw. What type of window cleaner do you use as your sharpening liquid? It's just the cheapest blue window cleaner. I bought this bottle at the dollar store like 2 years ago and just slowly working my way through it. So probably about another year's worth in here. But it's just the cheapest window cleaner I could find. Window cleaner just evaporates quickly, so it's not going to be rusting the plate and sitting there. Whereas water will sit there long and will start to rust, or start to cause the rust. So now, here, I'll show you what I do here. This is the real scary thing, because this knife is about as sharp as you can possibly get steel. So I'm going to clamp it in my vise, just sticking up like that. And so anytime I like swing my hands around, this thing is like, slice your finger off. Bye-bye finger, you don't need that. I get to sit down too. Using shavings in either resin or soak in water to make your own paper. Yeah, I could do some of that, but I couldn't use all my shavings for that. And that's be a fun way to make some paper though. How do you deal with holes larger than 1 inch? I've had little success with my adjustable bit. For drilling holes larger than 1 inch, an adjustable bit works really well, except for you have to spend a crazy amount of time tuning it up and sharpening it. And they come with all sorts of different pitches for different hardnesses of wood. So basically, the finer the threads are, the slower it's going to cut in the wood. And for your really hard woods, you need to do that. But the most common ones have very aggressive threads, which work great for pine, but horrible for that. You can get larger auger bits. They are harder to find, but you can get those. The next thing I would actually say is use a hole saw. I've used a hole saw quite a few times, and you can use a hole saw on a brace and bit. Not quite as efficient, but it does work. And so hole saws. Yeah, actually I had a video making my leg vise on my old bench, and I used a hole saw to cut I think it was like a 3.5 inch hole in 1/4 inch brass. That was fun. And so now we can just start peeling. Yeah, it was a 3.5 inch hole saw in brass with a brace and bit. It took a while to get through, but it did it. So let's switch back over to these. And so now what I'm doing is just cutting them all apart, and then I'll come back in later and detail all of the round ones. And I'm keeping all these scraps that I can make into coins if they're big enough for it. Maybe I should do that and start sending them with these. Having this crazy sharp blade here, it's just terrifying. This one I need to trim up. It just slices through this 9-ounce horsehide beautifully. 1, 2. Very time consuming, but very, very fun. Using the, thank you. How do you deal, yeah, we're gonna answer that. Cool. Hey, Spain, how's it going? I like doing these early ones because I get a lot of other people from other countries. It's always nice to see people from around the world on here. There. Let's see, there's one of these over here that needs it still, isn't there? Yep, that one. So I'm stacking up the other ones that need to be punched still, and slicing these into smaller and smaller pieces. It just takes a little bit more concentration to slice them up. Greetings from Green Bay. Hey, how's it going? Stanley 78 and 191 seem very similar. Does one work better in certain situations? I've never used a Stanley 191, but there are, well, actually, yes, I have. They're basically the same. It's just they come in all sorts of different widths and shapes. But I don't have a 191 to show you. But for all practical purposes, they function very, very, very similar. I'm trying to remember what the exact difference is between them. And there was something the 191 added, and I don't remember what it was. Someone will hop on here and remind me. Never thought of trying a hole saw. Yep, they work well. They're slow. The hole saws are very, very slow. And you have to make sure you back them out and clean them out because they just clog up. But they will work. That's how I cut most of my leg vise holes, is with the hole saws. Oop, I still need to trim those. Need that one there. It's always interesting taking these organic shapes, turning them into geometrical patterns. Yeah, I don't know if that one's good enough to be a third. Not too far off, though. Yeah, I can strap that. If they have one corner missing, they're good to be a third. If they have two corners missing, they're not good to be a third. Because I want a third to at least be a functional piece of leather. So like this you can still strop with. It's just you're missing this corner. So I'll round off this corner and put the brand right up here. So basically you'll just have a slightly shorter strop for the third. One side, two sides. If you guys have any questions, throw them in there. I do like to stop and answer things. Do you need any SketchUp help? I'm your Huckleberry. No, I use SketchUp occasionally. Well, for all of my plans, I use SketchUp. But yeah. Hey, you're done? Okay, go put it on the pile and tell your brothers you can go play outside for about a half hour at recess.
Okay.
Good job, Mel. So they do about an hour, hour and a half worth of online schooling. And then I give them a half hour to an hour of recess and break. And then they'll do about 40 minutes or so of an online program that is through our actual school. And then they get another little break. And they have about an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of other schoolwork that their teachers send them to do. I love this part. I don't know why. I just really enjoy this. Shaping the pieces down. This is fun. Sliding things through this knife and watching them slice like butter. Hot butter. Look at that. Switch back over to this one. That's some weird wood. Yeah, this stuff is really flimsy wood. And that's how homeschooling's done, yeah. Now, the first half of their program, they can do. It's basically watching videos and then taking quizzes. And they like that part. The next piece they do is an interactive growing quiz. And so as they progress, the quiz gets harder and harder and harder. And it learns what they're struggling with and what they're working on. And then it changes over time what they're actually being quizzed on. So it's a good way to watch their change. And the next section is the part they don't like because it's a lot of hands-on writing and doing papers. And they'd much rather just do the schooling on the computer. That last step requires a lot more time and focus from me. So I'll do this for a while and then go work on that with him. So I got that one, I need this one still. Here we go. There's one more. Oops. Turn around. Don't slice the fingers off. Don't slice the fingers off. Sorry. That one? Yeah, let's do this one. Okay, now we have our small pieces. We can cut these down into other scraps. I split those up into 3 piles. We have a pile of scraps, we have a pile of straights that need to be rounded, and we have a pile of the logo top center that need to be cut up. Hello from Guernsey? Guernsey Channel Island. Hello. I don't know where that's at. Where is that at? Although I'm probably reading it wrong. So that is very normal for me. My wife likes to make fun of my reading. It is not my strong suit. I work with my hands. That's where my strong suit's at. Ta-da! Let's throw these through, and each cut of this brings out a new strop. Yeah, I'm trying to imagine how much pressure would be needed to actually press these all. It would be incredible. That would be a lot of pressure. I know this knife just cuts through it well, but yeah. Where is that? Yeah, a small group of islands between England and France. Huh, interesting. If you puzzle both. Yeah, especially my mom. My mom and dad are actually missionaries at large, and so they go all over the world doing replacements. So when the missionary comes off the field for a furlough, they replace them and keep the ministry going. And so they've been all over the world. I think it's like, what, 40-some countries now? But that ministry is being hit hard right now due to no traveling. It's hard to fill in when you can't be there to do so. I often feel this is like the closest thing I get to doing a table saw regularly. It's probably a bit more dangerous, actually. I've sliced myself a few times. I'll have my fingers running underneath the pad, and I'll keep going like, ooh. And I'll cut in a good ways before I realize that I actually sliced anything. Because this is just, slicing right through some of the hardest leather. Although I wanted to try kangaroo hide. Kangaroo hide is very flexible, but supposedly it is more durable. It's harder to cut. So it wouldn't make a very good strop because it's more flexible, but it might be fun. It's what most whips are made out of, is kangaroo hide. These most decent whips. Yay! Let's do this side. Oh, Keith, thank you, man. That's awesome. I'll keep the videos coming. Lived in 9 countries, visited 56 countries. Hopefully we'll be... Yeah, when you guys are in Scotland, it is our intention to come and visit you guys. Sarah is bugging me to go to Scotland. Not that I need that much bugging to want to go there. The Highlands sound like a fantastic place to do some decent running. Hey, how's it going? It's at Rhineland Echon? Sorry, I am the great name butcherer, but glad to have you on here. Yeah, it's always fun to go to England and visit locations that are missing the word new before them. Like I went to York. It feels very odd to say York. There should be a new there, right? Well, I guess it probably sounds equally odd from the other side if you grew up in York to think about a place called New York. All right, now let's slice these. Yes, call it Old York. It's one of the things about being in America is there aren't a lot of other places that are referred to as like New Scottsdale or, New Los Angeles. You do that, you sound like you're living in a, a science fiction novel. Now, we are very fortunate that we have an easement behind our house that is loaded with trees. So we have a space about 150 feet long by about 40 feet deep where the kids can go run amok in the backwoods. And it is good for them. And it's nice for me to just say, go play in the woods. And they think it's awesome, as do I. Yeah, even old New York was once New Amsterdam. And on every one of these strops, as I'm making it, I'm thinking, I wonder who's going to use this thing. I wonder who's going to sharpen on this. What tools are going to be used? Yes?
Can you try to kick a ball at me?
Did you tell him to stop?
Yeah.
Did you go in the backwoods?
I didn't go in the woods.
Melody, just ignore him. I will deal with him later.
What's inside?
I know he does. That's what JJ does. Brother and sister siblings. Oh, the fun. Now, I was just thinking about it. I have a friend who is making a rather large model of the HMS Victory. And we were just there about a year ago now, a year ago in May. And I would love to go back to that. That was a really, really cool thing to do. That was definitely a highlight of going to England. Canada, hey, how's it going? James, when you do half-blind dovetails for drawers, do you groove them first or dovetail first, then groove? Usually I groove first and then dovetail. The reason being is the groove reminds me exactly where my dovetails need to go to hide everything. But that's just a personal preference. There really is no best practice for grooving and then dovetailing. And he's referring to running the groove around the inside of the drawer that holds the bottom in place. And with a half-blind dovetail, the nice thing about that is you don't see the groove at all on the front, and it's very easy to make it disappear. With a little bit of work, you can make it disappear in the back too. Yay. Let's slice up these. Very, very careful not to slide thumb through very, very sharp knife. Yeah, the joy of siblings, yes. James, where are you shipping products from? I'm right out of my house in northern Illinois. Yeah, everything bought off my site is shipped out of my house. I don't sell enough to hire a company to do that for me. And there's something I like about the personal service of actually handling things that friends and fans are using. Call me crazy. My wife does. It's almost time to sharpen this. I'll do these two up and then sharpen them. James, what's the best for tapping wooden nuts? End grain or side grain? I don't know what you're referring to. Because you always want the grain to be running with the bolt. Oh, I see what you're saying. It's best to have the nut going through the board, not into the end grain. Oops, sorry, camera's on the wrong one. Nuts, I'm thinking bolts. It's best to have the hole going through the board, not into the end grain. Because if you go through the board, then you only have splitting action in one direction. Whereas if you go into the end grain of the board, then you have splitting action in all directions. You just have to make sure you're sharp, because you'll get a lot of tear out as you go around it if it's not sharp. I think this one's going to be a second. It's just a hair on the thin side. Still good leather, just a little bit thin. All right, let's sharpen this thing. So, just feel that it's putting a little bit more resistance. So all I do is I grab a strop. Yes, you need a strop to make a strop. There, it's sharp. Crazy sharp. I like grooving first, but I grew up Tower of Power. Yes. How is your wife? She is crazy busy. Yeah, she is, pulling incredibly long hours at the hospital right now, and we're really not getting hit that hard. But it is one of those things that it takes over every aspect of the hospital. So you're not cross-contaminating everywhere, and even if there's one or two patients in the hospital, it takes an unbelievable amount of work from everyone. And we are right on the cusp of really getting hit hard, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, she is pretty stressed. She comes home and crashes after going through decontamination. So we have a fairly extensive decontamination process. The inside of her car is considered contaminated. At least for us. And the kids always wonder why they can't immediately hug mom as soon as she comes home. So that's their usual go-to response. Mom comes home, go hug mommy. And mommy's like, no, don't touch me. Yeah, when you're cutting threads, make sure you soak it in oil for a while. If the wood is fractious, it really helps getting you nice clean threads. But that really is more an aesthetic thing, because the nice clean threads really don't make the threads any stronger. Because if they're going to break off from cutting, they're going to break off if they get enough pressure on them. But if you like that look of nice clean threads, then soaking it in oil overnight fixes that up nice like. Do that one while I think about it. Okay. That one's a third. This one's a normal logo on the top. And this one's actually a really nice strop, but it's got this line in it that just doesn't look as good, and so that one then becomes a second. But it's just as good and just as functional as a regular. It's just not quite as pretty. This is a thick portion of the hide right here. Clean that up. Hey Kevin, good to see you. It's been glad my wife's not in the hospital. She's primary care physician. Yeah, our hospital is only people being treated and workers are allowed in the hospital, and then only primary, because they have all of the open areas of the hospital are closed off. Yeah, it's been kind of sad, because you hear about families who their child breaks a leg and they can't take them to the emergency room because the emergency room is locked down. So they have to go to the emergency room, or the ambulance comes, picks up the kids, and the family just has to wait at home, waiting for their kid to be brought back to them, or they can go and pick them up. It's a pretty sad situation. Or worse, if the child has to be there overnight, family can't be with them. Yeah, we're waiting for when her hospital actually goes on lockdown. It'll be one of these days that she just doesn't come home, and I won't see her for a couple weeks or more, as long as the hospital's on lockdown. I know of a few other nursing families who they have set up a tent in the garage, and the nurse in the family literally lives in the garage. And the spouse will bring food out and leave it in the garage. Just because they don't want the cross-contamination with the rest of the house. Well, I've heard about a few RV companies that, they have RVs sitting on the lot that they're not going to sell right now. So they've been loaning them out to medical, so that they can use them as isolation housing while they're away, which I think is a really, really cool idea. Anyway, you didn't come to Wood by Right to hear about that. It just happens to be what's on our mind right now. And this is one of the reasons why I love woodworking and leatherworking. Is this is something that requires a decent amount of focus. And it allows to get your mind off things and just enjoy the moment. That and running in circles around the house. I often think that woodworking and ultra running really go hand in hand because they both require a certain amount of stupidity and stubbornness. What is the cheapest bench vise that's any good? Making your own. Yeah, wooden screw. You can get an 1.5-inch die and make your own nut and bolt from it, and make your own. A good wooden screw leg vise works phenomenally. Other than that, you can get the Shopvox screw on Amazon for like I want to say it's like $40. I have one of those on my other vise, and those work really well. But if you're talking like a big end vise, there aren't a lot of good ones like that unless you have 2 screws that you have to move side by side. But as soon as you start connecting those 2 screws together, they get really expensive really fast. Yeah, otherwise, you can occasionally get lucky finding old ones on Craigslist or Facebook. But yeah. Sorry. Reading through things. Yeah, thanks for all the wishes. I'm happy with where we are because, financially we don't have any problem right now because 60-70% of our income is Sarah's work, and so she doesn't have a problem with that right now. YouTube is views are up, which is great, but ad revenue is way down. Companies, for some reason, just aren't spending and buying ads right now. So YouTube price is okay, but it's balancing well with hers. But she's salary, so all the extra time she puts in doesn't bring anything more, but it just means we have a stable check, which is, I'll take that. But the nice thing is, it really didn't cause us that much problem when the kids had to stay home because, hey, I can do homeschooling while doing this. Just means I have to spend more time with that. So my videos have been a bit of a mess. I've been doing more lives and just keeping up with things. So I put another coat of epoxy in the bug holes on the 2 desks, and I'm waiting for those to cure. So hopefully later today I can start shooting the footage of scraping them all down and smoothing out all of the epoxy bug holes. Excuse me, I need to get something to drink. I actually have not had breakfast yet today. That's my common problem, is I forget to eat. I like to work and like to do. If any of you have Google at home, turn your sound off because I'm just about to tell my Google to do something here. Okay, Google, broadcast kids come down to the shop. We're going to tell them to start working on the next set of schooling. We have Google Home all throughout our house, and so it becomes really nice to talk to the kids. We can just broadcast, and they hear it from all over. They come running. Hey, where's JJ? Okay, guys, it's time to start working on iReady. So you're going to do math for 20 minutes. Go. I will tell you when to switch. Okay, Google, set timer for 20 minutes. Yeah, if you need, you don't have to have a vise. There are plenty of ways of doing viceless woodworking. Crochet and hold fast do amazing things on a vise, on a bench. Good point, Nick. Irwin has an inexpensive vise. I'll have to see that screw. That could be the one I'm thinking of. It might not be Shop Fox. It might be Irwin. It's blue, so it could be. Thailand. Hi, how's it going? Not having breakfast is a crime. Yeah. No, when I really get into a project, I have literally gone 30 some hours without eating, not because I have to get the project done, but because I just forgotten to eat. I forget to eat quite often. Although not as much when my kids are at home, because my kids remind me, Daddy, what can I eat? And they're like, oh yeah, I got to eat something too. But when the kids aren't home and Sarah's not home, I'll often, wake up in the morning and not eat anything until Sarah gets home around 5. Yes, 10:30 here. Yeah, crochet, it's basically a hook that goes on the side of the bench, and you can slide the boards into it. And so if you have pegs that hold the board so it doesn't fall down, you slide the work into the crochet and you can plane against it. And that way you can do edge work on that. And then if you do a planing stop, which is basically a crochet that sticks up from the bench, and you can slide your wood up on that, and you can plane your face on that without actually having to clamp it down. It's also a great way to do your knitting. Dad joke strikes again. So after slicing these, I'll probably keep on going. I've got a decent amount of this to do today. Okay, next piece. Slice it apart. $6 p.m. there. I actually want to go back to China someday. I spent a summer there teaching English, and I would like to see more of the country. But the rest of Asia would be really cool. Thailand, Bangkok is actually on my list. Bangkok's in Thailand, right? No. I'm totally messed up on that one. Philippines is on my list. Most countries on my list for one point or another. I know that if I were single, one of my goals would be to visit every country, or every possible country I could go to. But I am not single, and it would be difficult to take the kids to them all. Yeah, one of the things we've been teaching the kids is they've actually been making their own YouTube channel. And so we've been going through all of the things needed for that. You know, making a logo, making pages, and then, you know, how do you shoot a video? How do you edit a video? How do you upload it? What are the settings? And so it's been kind of fun to actually teach skills like that to the kids. So they each have, because Melody has Melody's Workbench, which is, it's my channel under my account, but it's her content. And so the two of them have just recently started their own channel. So we're kind of letting them experiment and play around with it right now, but we're going to have some classes here soon where they have to do certain video types and different types of editing and things like that. Good skills. Question, where are you teaching? I'm in Northern Illinois right now. I don't teach at any physical location. At least I'm assuming you're talking about homeschooling, woodworking. If you're talking about homeschooling, well, we teach in our house. One bad thing about having a workshop in your house. The bad thing is not having a cat coming into your shop. The bad thing is having the cat. Why would you do such a thing? So what's your dream project? I would actually love, I have a bunch of different dream projects. I would love to timber frame a shop and have a huge shop all timber framed with wood from off of the property. I think that would be an absolute blast. One of my other projects is one I started a while ago and I had to sell the project, and I was actually building a 4-seat fiberglass airplane, and I would love to do that again one of these days. But I've also thought it'd be kind of fun to make a submarine. That would be an interesting project. Yeah, Rex Kruger has a series of the benchless, the viceless bench. Some really good stuff on there. I like his style of looking for the cheapest possible way to do things. There's a lot of merit for that. We keep talking about doing a collab, and I was going to be going out to his place in June, but I don't think that's going to happen now. I'm hoping to go out to Maker's Summer Camp, which is just down the road from him. So we might have a collaboration coming through that. Question, read wrong. Where in China did you teach? I taught in Sichuan province. Oh, come on, I can't remember the name of the city. Okay, that's going to bug me. I can't remember the name of the city now. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember the name of the city now. Oh, let's see. A wood submarine. Yeah. No, I would probably steel welded. My last job was actually supervisor of a metal shop. We built 40-foot tall theater sets aluminum welding mostly. Wouldn't you need 5 or 6 seat airplane now? Yeah. No, the airplane I want to build, a Cozy Mark IV. It's a 4-seat airplane, but it's for 2 people plus luggage. And so it would be the type of thing that once the kids are gone, the 2 of us can fly around the country in. I think that would be a blast. Ta-da! Yeah, then I've got these ones, which is just kind of misshapen, but you work it out flat and it's a nice piece. And so this will become a third. It's just a little bit thin over here. That'll be a third. This one will probably be a second. It's a nice piece of leather. It's just a little bit wavy over here, slightly discovered. And this one will be a standard. It's a nice, solid piece. Let's see. You should try your hand at small lap strake rowboat. Yeah, actually, well, what I want to build is a small sailboat like that. That would be a fun one to make. That's on my list for someday as well. I've got a lot of projects I want to make. It's just not enough time in one lifetime to do it all. No matter how much you ask, you can't get a second lifetime. The earth just doesn't work that way. Advice for sharpening my lathe gouge chisels by hand. Just an old Craftsman chisel. I have quite a few videos on sharpening chisels. If you're talking about lathe gouges, I actually have a video on how to sharpen them by hand. And I use diamond files, little diamond paddles. Works really well. You can get it much, much sharper than you can off of a grinder. But yeah, I'd say definitely look up those videos. But if you're talking about specific chisels, every chisel is a little bit different. It's all about just bringing those 2 edges down into a point between them. You do that and you've got a sharp edge. And it's learning how not to over bevel the chisel, over bevel the tip, and create a third angle. Right at the tip, you just want just those 2 angles. Almost there. Then I'm going to see. Okay, Google, how much time is left on timer? Huh. Apparently the timer didn't start, so the kids will keep working for a while. I don't remember when I started it. Let me do this. Okay, Google, broadcast JJ, Arthur, and Melody. It's time to switch to reading. Arthur, go tell Melody to switch to reading. Okay, there. We've got them all sliced up. And now, let me switch back to 2-1. Now we can start working on shaping all the corners. So I'm going to grab all these extra scraps. And these will get turned into coins when I have the time someday. Except for those are too thin to use, so we throw those away. I can get a coin out of that. And then we can start rounding these, but I'm only going to round a few of them and do up a few so I can get out. I have a couple orders that I need to get out today. So let's see, what questions do we have? Chengdu, there we are. Chengdu is where I taught English. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to do those, and I'm going to do these. So we're going to shape these ones down and then brand them, and I'll probably call that it for the day. So let's see, I need something to pound against. Grab a scrap piece of wood. Grab a piece of cedar. Nice and soft on the backside. Actually, I want something a little bit stiffer than that. No, I'm not going to pound into the walnut. Hickory. No, not that piece of hickory. Wow, where'd all my scraps go? Here we go. Piece of oak. Yeah, here you can see where I made all of the coins recently. It's all of those marks from chopping out the coins. So let's pop these out. I have a little half round punch. That's for the corners. But it does really well as long as I line it up right. I'm chopping those out. Just to come back and clean them up a little bit. And there, strop, except for I have to brand it. Is this still live? Yeah, we're live. Yeah, if you ever see the chat running over on the side, it's live. When the chat disappears, then it's a recorded video. What is over beveling? Over beveling is like, well, here, let me grab. Basically, if you have the blade at an angle and you're drawing it across, if you lower it, then you're going to be working on the back of the bevel, and that's really not a problem. But if you raise it up, you're going to be over beveling, so you're actually going to be grinding just the tip. And when you do that, you're overheating you're either going to overheat the tip if you're doing it on sandpaper or something like that, or you are going to just round the actual tip off. And then you have to bring it back down to the regular bevel it's at and grind it back until you get that bevel back to a nice sharp tip. So over beveling is lifting the back of the iron up, so you're just hitting the tip. And so usually the problem is as you're sharpening, you pull it back, and if your arm's not locked, you start doing one of these seesaw things, and at the back of the stroke, you go up on the tip and you ruin all the sharpening you've just done. I'm going to use this mallet instead. I'm going to save that one for other things. Okay, Google, set timer for 20 minutes. So I've got about 20 minutes left of this live, and then I'm going to go do some other things. So if you guys have any questions, things you want me to answer, go ahead and throw those in the chat, and I will get to as many as I can. What dialect do they speak in Sichuan? I don't know, actually. I asked several times, do you speak Mandarin? Do you speak Cantonese? They say, no, we speak Chinese. And so I don't know. It was one of those things that I asked and it kind of got missed in translation, literally. But it was one of the things we were told is we were not allowed to try and learn the language while we were there, or we weren't really supposed to learn the language with our students. Our goal was just to speak English around them. And not to pick it up. And so that was one of the things that they really wanted us to do, is to not spend time learning the language, but to spend time just talking with them. And so like we'd do 5 or 6 hours of classwork in the morning, and then we'd go out and go shopping as a class. And then usually we'd end up going to one of their houses in the evening for dinner. And then every now and then they'd invite us over to spend the night. And so it was just more or less giving them an immersive time learning English. Sound just went low. Now you're fine. Yeah, if it hears a loud sound, it'll lower the volume and then bring it back. So if my pound is too much. So now I'm rounding off the corners on these straps. Here, let me show you what I'm doing here a little closer. Switch cameras to this one. So I'm choosing which corner I want to lop off if there's a bad one. And then lopping the corner off. Like this one has a little black dot on there. So let's get rid of that little black dot. Oop, hit it a little harder. Hit it a little harder. Oop, didn't quite make it. Little extra detailing. Yeah, we go to China and they get immersed in English. Here we go. One more. Oop, moved it. There. Now I'm going to brand these, and these will get shipped out today, which I think I can still make the mail. So let's heat this sucker up. So it might get a little loud here as this goes in, but let me know. I don't know how loud this actually sounds. So we heat this thing up until it gets, well, not red, cherry red, but warm. I'm working on making these strops that I sell on the channel, on the website. So I got some more orders in and need to make sure they get out. Not quite there, a little more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure it's upright. Ah, it turned. And there we go, branded strop. I just got to do a few more times. What is a good way to clean a chainsaw after cutting very sappy chain? I actually will soak it in a degreaser, but I know that there are a lot better ways. I haven't done a whole lot with it, so I'm not the best person to ask in that. That'd be one I would send to Matt Cremona. So I probably have about an hour and a half worth of this to do. So I'll do this later, but I'm just going to do enough that I can ship them out today. Burnt horsehide smells so good. So if you guys have any questions you want me to answer, go ahead and throw them in the chat. And when I'm done with this branding, I'll answer a few before we wrap this up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, we need a couple more of those, not these. Yeah, I do need a couple more of those. So let's brand them first and then do it. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, shoot, I do need to do that. Let's turn that off. I just realized I need to make a couple more of these straight ones, so I gotta pop these out first. Let's see, what do we have? Okay, Google Broadcast. Kids, you should be working on your reading right now. Otherwise, you're going to have to work on it longer. Hearing one of the kids playing around upstairs. Why you never dust off your camera? I do dust them off quite a bit, but right now this one looks really, really bad. Well, because it is. There's just only so much you can do in a shop. And it's one of the reasons why I pick these is they're incredibly durable cameras. So I take them to be cleaned about once a year. And it's almost time for that. Except for I can't do it right now. Oop, one more. That one. So these are for orders you already have. Yes, yeah, these are. I was planning on making them all tomorrow, but with the live video Tuesday, I got a surge of orders yesterday, and so I got to make some more. But our mailman normally comes in about 2 hours, so should be plenty good to get them out today. And then I'll make the rest of them either later today or tomorrow, as the time allows. Try branding cattle. Yeah, you should ask my dad about branding. He has a really good story about youth group. Plastic bag with a hole. Sorry, I don't know what you're asking. There. Cut up 4 more. Let's brand these 4. So if anyone has questions, throw them in there. When I'm done with this branding, I'll answer them, and then we'll probably wrap up this live. So I always have a test board here to see how dark it is. Oh, that cooled down faster than I thought. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Now we're ready. So 6 count. 2, 4, 5, 6. Turn and stamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. There, all branded up and ready to go. I'll do the rest of them either tomorrow or later today. Let's see what questions we got on here. Oh, plastic bag with a hole for a camera. Yeah, I could do that, but it's just not worth it. The dust on the outside looks bad, but it doesn't affect the camera's function, use, and so the plastic bag is just far more pain than it's worth. And then I can't actually see the screen, so I know what I'm shooting, and there's just, yeah. There's a lot of other things where I could keep dust off it, but there's no reason to. Ever heard of Tom Fidgen? Yeah. No, I've been wanting to go up to his shop for a while. He's a cool guy. I like him. He does some fun things. Strops for gouges. These are strops for whatever. I use them for chisels. I use them for knives. I use them for pretty much all of my sharpening. I'll even bend them and shape them and use them for molding planes and things of that nature. So yeah. Cool. Well, this has been a lot of fun, and I like just hanging out in the shop and doing some relaxing things. So if anyone wants to come and hang out, I'll probably be doing some more of these in the near future since we're all stuck at home. But I think we'll wrap this up. So yeah, I got to go over the camera and shoot it down unless everyone has any last minute things. Oop. And now I have to go package these strops up and ship them out, and then work with the kids for the rest of their schooling. So yeah. Now I got to figure this out because my wife's the one who normally turns things off. Bring it back over here. Cool. So I think I'll do it for now. And until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye.